Filipinos navigate one of the most politically charged periods in recent history, many are asking, where does the law stand? What happens when political loyalty collides with accountability? And how can a divided nation move forward? Tonight, we sit down with a lawyer who brings both legal expertise and a fearless voice to some of the country's most pressing issues. I'm Romel Miranda, and this is The Game Changer. Tonight, we are joined by a legal mind who has never shied away from difficult conversations. A lawyer, advocate, and public commentator whose insights continue to spark meaningful discussions on law, governance, and accountability. Joining us tonight is Attorney Arlene Reyes. Good evening, Attorney.
Good evening, sir. It's a pleasure to be here on your show.
Romel lang po. How did you become a lawyer? What prompted you to take up I would say, the interesting path of the law?
Well, interesting question, right, Sir Romel? Because, well, I will be very honest. I mean, I have a comfortable life, but, you know, there was a time where I truly saw the injustice, right? And the hardships or sufferings by our countrymen. And I cannot take it na wala akong gagawin, wala akong magiging silbi or magiging mas maidadagdag na value to somehow help other people. It sounds cheesy, but what can I do? It's true. That's why, especially in our country, na kawawa, di ba, ang isang tao sa ating bansa kung wala kang alam sa batas. You are prone to abuse, whether by the government or whether by private individuals or entities. So it truly inspired me or encouraged me to, you know, become a lawyer.
When was this moment that you realized, this is really my calling? When was that, Attorney?
Maybe during that time, I read a certain case. I believe all law students and lawyers are familiar with this case. This is a rape with homicide case involving a very powerful individual during that time. And when I read that case, it truly made me realize that, you know, we need more principled lawyers. We need lawyers or members of the legal profession who will fight for what is right and who will not care even if they're, you know, opposing parties or enemies or adversaries are powerful or influential people. And in that case, that particular individual was indeed convicted. So it made me sanguine, it made me hopeful that napakaganda siguro ng bansa natin, no? Kung lahat tayo ay mangangarap na magkaroon ng kaalaman sa batas, hindi para sa sarili nating interes, but bagkus para ma-improve yung bansa natin. So maybe that is the particular moment when I read that controversial case.
But attorney, sa ano po nyo, sa pag-aaral or even po sa karanasan po ninyo, bago pa po kayo maging abogada, sino po yung mga modelo nyo sa ganun?
Role models. No? Well, interestingly, I can honestly say that, you know, growing up as an only child, right? I mean, this might sound, you know, haughty for other people, but I can confidently say na naging role model ko ang aking sarili.
Opo.
Because, you know, living without brothers or sisters, you need to have the strength, right, to decide on your own. And ikaw lang ang makakapag-save sa sarili mo, right? Iyong success or yung kahihinat na ng buhay mo, it largely depends truly on your personal decisions. So as to the role models when I was growing up, it was myself. But of course, when I became a law student and I became a lawyer, eventually there are so many brilliant and principled individuals who I look up to, na talaga namang nakapag-inspire sa akin na gusto ko yung values ng mga taong to, and I will emulate these people. I may not be as brilliant or as popular or as spectacular or as these members of the legal profession, but you know, I want to imitate their principles and virtues. Noon na ako nagkaroon ng maraming role models when I became a lawyer.
In this particular time, no, where a lot of people have opinions and they have the facility to express them, unlike before during our time that there's no social media, I do think legal literacy is important.
It is utterly important nowadays, Sir Romel, no? Because alam naman natin, fake news are everywhere, right? And this is one of the disadvantages of, you know, advanced technology. Because AI or Chat GPT are accessible to everyone. Sometimes some people, you know, think that they are more knowledgeable of laws than, you know, legitimate lawyers. But I understand that, right? It's just that ang isang disadvantage nito yung prone ang mga tao, ang mga kababayan natin sa fake news. Right? May mag-post lang na porke sinusuportahan nila, they no longer research on their own. They just, you know, believe it hook, line, and sinker. Right? And yun ang napakadelikado. Diba? Napakadelikado nun. So, it is of utmost importance. Legal literacy must be, you know, advocated, not just by the legal professionals or the lawyers, but even ordinary citizens, even non-lawyers can help in, you know, annihilating fake news. Dahil kung ang bansa natin ang mag-rule ay fake news, yung mga peking leaders din at mga peking public officials ang maboboto ng ating mga kababayan.
Fake news has become a major concern in society from a lawyer's perspective. Here's the thing, no? With especially with some of the developments in the news that we see. Where does freedom of expression end, and where does accountability begins?
You mentioned freedom of expression. Of course, that doctrine is close to my heart because I'm a constitutional law book author and a constitutional law professor, right? Ang nakakalimutan kasi ng iba nating kababayan, akala nila ang freedom of expression ay absolute, Sir Romel, right? Because of this online phenomenon, this social media, you know, phenomenon, they think that they are powerful, that they are invincible, right? That their actions do not have legal consequences. So this must be a reminder to everyone that your actions, even if you post it on social media, have legal consequences. We have pertinent laws that can hold you liable if, of course, you post libelous statements, defamatory statements, right? So freedom of expression is a preferred right under our Constitution. Pero hindi nito sinasabi na walang limitasyon ang freedom of expression. May limitasyon pa rin ang karapatan na ito. And this must not be used as a weapon to insult other people, to attack other people, and of course to spread fake news and misinformation. So sana maliwanagan yung mga viewers and listeners nyo na kailangan maging disente, 'di ba? At respectful sa pagkokomento or pagpo-post online.
Opo. Do you think that there should be a stronger legal consequences for individuals who deliberately spread this kind of disinformation?
Yes. Lalo na sa panahon ngayon, no? Nalaganap talaga ang fake news or misinformation. Although we already have, the Cybercrime Prevention Act, right? But I believe it is high time that our legislators draft a bill which will eventually become a law to, to reinforce the legal consequences when a person spreads fake news or information. Ano ba naman yung responsibilidad, di ba, ng isang mamamayan na before ka mag-post ng isang impormasyon, dapat fina-fact check mo muna. Di ba? Because we are living at this age na halos lahat, mapamahirap, mapamayaman, nasa internet na yan, nag-google na yan, nakatutok sa Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. So it is actually the duty also of the state under the doctrine of parens patriae, right? To, enact laws which will truly create fear doon sa mga nagpapakalat ng fake news or misinformation because of its deleterious effects, because of its adverse effects. So tama yan, Sir Rommel, no? Kailangan magkaroon ng batas na mas malalaki ang penalties or even pagkakakulong when you spread fake news or misinformation.
How can you, for example, attorney, of course we are seeing you already now, no? How can the legal profession help restore public trust in institutions and in government, for example, and towards public officials, for that matter?
Well, I think the duty of the legal profession is twofold with respect to your question, right? First is, do not be afraid to criticize public officials. It is our right, and as members of the legal profession, it is actually our duty to, express our constructive criticism to government officials. They are not infallible, right? They're also human beings. Of course, if we will, criticize them in a legitimate manner, in a constructive manner, or in a concerned manner, I believe that these public servants will not be too onion-skinned, right? To take it against the legal profession, right? So we have a right and we have a duty to use the legal profession to make the ordinary citizens more aware, more intelligent, so that they will have their own assessment of the issues. Hindi naman ito yung kunwari ay isa kang abogado at sasabihin mo, ito ang batas, ito ang paniwalaan nyo. No. The primordial duty is, ito ang batas. Ngayon, magdesisyon ka. So, as legal professionals, we must not, compel or coerce the people to believe us. In my humble opinion, kung ako minsan ay nagpo-post ng isang batas, ng isang Supreme Court decision, hindi ko kayo pinipilit na maniwala sa akin. Ang gusto ko lang, mag-research kayo kung alam nyong mali yung panig ko. Although I cited a specific law or the Constitution, then that is your decision. And doon tayo magkakaroon ng tunay na demokrasya. Right? Hindi yung puppet lamang ang mga tao sa kung anong sabihin ng mga idolo nila. I dream of a country where almost all the Filipinos are intelligent enough to have their own research or assessment.
I see it, attorney, that because of what you express publicly, that you have been subjected to attacks, no? Attack online, and I am glad that you mentioned that it should be a welcome. We should have a welcome attitude when it comes to being criticized. So how do you actually take it?
Well, I take it on the chin. Believe it or not, especially, the usual barbaric insults, right? I take it on the chin because I believe in this, saying that do not argue with a pigeon, a literal pigeon, right? Because if you argue with a pigeon, you can say the most brilliant things, you can say the most brilliant laws, but the pigeon won't understand. The pigeon will just, fly, walk, or eat the food on the floor. So I can take it on the chin. But of course, I am not a saint, Sir Rommel.
Yes.
Sometimes if the attacks are truly libelous or defamatory or below the belt, be prepared to, to accept my disrespectful response also. Yun kasi yung minsan sa mga trolls, babastusin ka ng sobra-sobra. Pero they are expecting you to reply in a respectful manner. I don't see the logic in that. So if you attack me, then be prepared that I will also attack you. Kung bastos ka, bastos din ako. Kung mabait ka, mabait din ako.
And there's an advice from the good book. Don't give pearls to the pig. But at the same time, in this kind of situation, I agree with you. I think we should talk to some people in the manner that they would understand. When we return, we'll tackle the issues that continue to divide the nation, from political polarization to the role of the rule of law in preserving our democracy. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
The 2025 was a meaningful year for Bingo Plus Foundation. As our purpose grew, it was time for a new chapter. Introducing DigiPlus Foundation.
Education is the bridge to opportunities. Through the Future Smart program, we empower learners and educators nationwide. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply learning for a better future.
Healthcare should come with no barriers. Kalusugan Plus delivers medical missions, and Embrace Plus mental health support, which empower every Filipino through compassionate and accessible healthcare. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply healing. One patient, one community at a time.
Every dream deserves a chance. In Wish Plus, we grant wishes, empowering individuals, families, and communities together with their partners. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply hope, dignity, and possibilities.
Disasters don't wait. Through the Bayanihan Plus program, we mobilize immediate response and recovery efforts. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply the spirit of Bayanihan across the nation.
DigiPlus Foundation is committed to delivering on our promise to bring help within everyone's reach. When support becomes accessible, impact doesn't just grow, it multiplies.
Madaling pa mag-cash in sa Bingo Plus?
Sa Bingo Plus.
Official partner na namin ng Bayad Center. Easy!
License ba yun ng popcorn? Sa Bingo Plus.
Kaya responsible gaming lagi.
Ang fun!
Gaming? Na may insurance?
Sa Bingo Plus.
Sa PhilFirst, insured ang wallet mo ng 1 million pesos.
Safe nga! Talaga namang...
Sa Bingo Plus.
Partnered with Bayad Center, licensed by PAGCOR, protected by PhilFirst.
Sa Bingo Plus.
The best players succeed because they set boundaries. Every great athlete wins with control. Always have a game plan.
DTV, kalaro ng bawat Pilipino. Hey! Sa buhay na panalo. DTV, kalaro ng bawat Pilipino. Let's go! Sa buhay na panalo. DTV, kalaro ng bawat Pilipino. Oh! Sa buhay na panalo.
Welcome back to The Game Changer. The country continues to grapple with political divisions, growing tensions among government institutions, and debates that have become increasingly emotional, both online and offline. Amid these challenges, many Filipinos are asking, how do we move forward as one nation? What role does the rule of law play in times of uncertainty? And can our democratic institutions withstand the pressures of today's political climate? Let us begin, Attorney. What concerns you the most, given the current state of political discourse in the Philippines?
What concerns me the most is the animosity it creates amongst the Filipinos. Kasi parang ang nangyayari ay nag-aaway na yung mga kababayan natin just because of these politicians, right? Just because of politics. Bakit hindi natin pwedeng, magkaroon tayo ng respectful discourse, right? Or a decent discourse with one another. But what is happening right now? The politicians they are supporting are, enjoying their lives, luxurious lives even. Itong mga kababayan natin kung mag-away sa social media, right? And this is not the democratic country the framers of our Constitution envisioned.
Yes.
Hindi dapat nag-aaway ang mga tao. Bagkus, pwede naman tayong hindi magkasundo-sundo sa ibang mga paniniwala, but there's no need to be antagonistic against one another. So, this is the most concerning for me. What it makes of us Filipinos, most of our countrymen, na dapat ay hindi tayo magkakaaway, right? We must always remember that these politicians come and go. But, the true spirit of the Constitution, the laws, and the Filipino as a nation must be the guide para tayo ay magkasundo-sundo or at least maging civil sa isa't isa.
There's one politician here in NCR that said, kayong mga botante, pagdating ng eleksyon, kaming mga politiko, away-away. Pero pagkatapos ng eleksyon, bati-bati na kami, kayo away-away pa rin.
Exactly.
And it drives the point that the things that these leaders say at the height of their passion during, election, and in this particular case, again, I would call a political exercise, an upcoming big political exercise. Again, these leaders are dividing the country in terms of whether to proceed or not with that particular exercise. And what can you say about this, Attorney?
That these politicians must stop. Misleading your constituents, misleading the Filipino people. That is a travesty of your constitutional duty, right? I know na politiko kayo, but there were some public servants in the past who truly embody the values of being a public servant. So, laging ang tanong ko is, paano tayo humantong sa ganito? Paano humantong ang bansa natin sa ganito when in fact, kaya naman na matitino ang mga public servants? Although now, of course, there are also many public servants who are truly commendable. But in the past days, we can see what, greed with respect to power can create. It only creates division, chaos, paralysis of government services. So, ang malungkot pa dito, Sir Romel, sino ang talo? Hindi yung mga politiko na yan. Yung mga kababayan natin, that they should, serve and not mislead or even use or weaponize.
Let me go specifically to the Senate. The Senate, as we know it, should consist of very few, very select, hopefully gifted, dedicated, committed individuals to the good of the people. It is a deliberative body that is actually, which function is actually enriched by discussion, not argument, but by continuous deliberation, because it's only through deliberation that I also believe that issues, concerns regarding specific specific matters of national character could actually be enlightened by the deliberation of the Senate. But what we have seen so far is a too much division, and it already it is reflected mostly now in how you would see the social media is acting. No? There's even an attempt to come up with a regional factionalization, and there is this naming of peoples in terms of their mental capacity to think or not. No? In your opinion or in your experience, attorney, what do these conflicts reveal about our society or even our so-called democratic system?
It only reveals that this is one of the tragedies of having a democratic government, right? As effective as it may seem, of course, one of the disadvantages is we can expect people who are truly undeserving of the positions to be elected as, of course, one of the highest ranking officials. I mean, to be blunt, if you're a senator, you must be cerebral, right? And I'm not talking about...
One particular senator will not agree with you.
Well, he can debate with me if he wants to.
Yeah.
But you know, cerebral in a sense, hindi ko sinasabi na kailangan abogado.
Opo.
Hindi ko sinasabi na kailangan kasing talino ni Einstein.
Opo.
But as a senator, you must have the humility to learn your duty. You have, you know, what, 300,000 pesos a month na sweldo. Ayaw mong matuto? Ayaw mong mag-aral para sa mga Pilipino? And in some cases, ikaw pa ang nagva-violate ng batas? So one of the tragedies, truly, of a democratic government is this danger. Undeserving people, people who are not qualified to be in public office, are elected by the majority, since that is the essence of a democratic government, the rule of the majority. So, what would be our solution? It all boils down to our voters, to our electorate, right? We must have more intelligent voters. Our countrymen must not be swayed by mere, you know, popularity. Sayawan lang kayo, binoboto nyo na, diba? Bigyan lang kayo ng sardinas or 1,000, binoboto nyo na. Our countrymen must focus on, you know, yung long-lasting effects. Kung ito bang kandidatong ito or public servant ay talagang makakatulong para mapaganda ang buhay, not just only you, but your children or future children or grandchildren.
Yes. So, that's ano po, no? That's very true. In fact, if you look at the original composition of the Senate, the first Senate, it's a very diverse list, but very learned. Those are learned people. I'm not saying that education is the only qualification to be a statesman like in the Senate. But what we're saying is there is a basic fundamental requirement for somebody to have the ability to think thoroughly when it comes to certain issues. No? Otherwise, we would just end up with somebody saying, why cannot be like this, while the others are, you know, they're just doing that. No?
Yes.
I cannot be very specific right now because some people might, especially the supporters of these people, might think that, oh, you're just attacking this person. No, it's about issues. If you look at the profile of the Senate now, it turns into a very small group of people.
It's actually embarrassing. I can say it straight to the camera. The composition actually is quite embarrassing, and I'm so disappointed. I mean, if only the former learned senators could, you know, express, like Jovito Salonga, Miriam Defensor Santiago, they will, I I think they will even say worse words than embarrassing.
There is one. There's one particular incident that I'm really bothered because this senator who was absent for a long time and was asked by the media on why he was there, and he threw up some sort of a tantrum against the media. I'm in a position that I would say the media should come in an antagonistic position, should be adversarial to the state itself, in order for us to maintain what we call the democratic system of government. In fact, as you mentioned earlier, there are some criticism against what we call now democracy, or a democratic form of government. I think democratic as an adjective is good, but in our particular case, I think that democratic form of government is coming to become a disadvantage of sort for our country. Because I say this because if you look at the experience of Singapore, of Vietnam recently, whom they accuse to be, whom some people would accuse of being led by dictatorial people. And yet, look at how their country progressed. Okay? I think when the 1987 Constitution was drafted, there was really an honest intent for the multi-party system to work, because we would like to embrace as many beliefs as possible. But to our realization later on, it did not actually achieve that objective.
I agree.
And the Senate now is becoming an elitist Senate in some respects, because just look at the composition of it. And it actually, I'm really glad that a lawyer like you, attorney, would have the courage to speak about these things, not because we are on a particular side of the political spectrum, but because I think you share that idea that we should help our people get empowered, and empowerment through information or positive engagement. Okay?
And correct information.
Yes, yes. So, how important is it for public officials to separate politics from their constitutional duty?
It is utterly important, Sir Rommel, but unfortunately, it is inevitable that they are really, having a hard time removing or separating their constitutional duty from politics. An example of this one is the impeachment, right? A perfect example is they already took their oath of political neutrality. But we can still hear some senators who are quite vocal that they want they want to acquit VP Duterte. Even before, receiving or reading or witnessing the evidence, the testimonial evidence or object evidence. So, our countrymen, and I'm not just speaking about, the Duterte senators. I am also speaking about all the senators, right? All the senators must be reminded that it is their constitutional duty to be impartial, right? I know that you're a politician, I know that you are a public official, but once you have taken your oath of office as such, you must shred or strip off yourself of your political color or affiliation. And you now don a new garment. And what is this? It is public service to the Filipino people. Dapat ang pinagsisilbihan mo na, ayon sa saligang batas, ang publiko, hindi yung kung sino yung kaalyado mo. Again, I'm not just talking about, a specific group of senators. I am talking about all the senators as a whole. So, dun sa question mo, yes, it is utterly important quite impossible to achieve, but if isasapuso lamang talaga nila yung trabaho nila under the Constitution, napakadali, di ba? Nagampanan yung constitutional duty.
Let us somehow enlighten our people regarding this process. No? Imagine a situation in your everyday practice, for example, attorney. Imagine in your everyday practice, the trial judge would say, "Oh, by the way, I like Attorney Reyes. By the way, prosecution, I really like Attorney Reyes." And what do you think? What will happen? What do you think will the prosecution do?
But of course, the prosecution and the public and the parties involved will or cannot expect a fair trial.
Or will ask for the recusal of
or
the judge.
inhibition of the judge.
Yes, of course, no. But in this case, kasi that's the thing that I think some of the senator judges forget, no. Although we're saying that impeachment is not a purely judicial proceeding, but still there is an adjudication requirement in that procedure, in that proceeding. So the call for impartiality is still there.
Yes.
Many lawyers who express their views on controversial issues face strong criticism online, including passionate political supporters. How do you mentioned this already, but how do you handle them?
Well, it's easy to handle them because I know the truth. I know that I am, advocating for the rule of law. I'm on the right side of history. So no amount of barbaric insults or words can, even hurt my feelings.
Have you received
right?
some comments that actually demean you as a woman?
Oh, of course, yes. I have been continuously receiving such, misogynistic and pervert remarks. But of course, if it transcends already to libelous statements and defamatory statements, well, I will just surprise you with, of course, a case. But with respect to some other barbaric insults, and when I check their profiles, you will just, feel sorry for them, because I would just like to be honest and blunt. I mean, miserable. I just feel so sorry for these people.
Yes. Attorney, I would like to ask you two specific questions. Number one, is it your position that the ICC or the International Criminal Court has jurisdiction over Bato?
Of course. And
and the basis for this is?
Of course, we have so many laws which are the proper legal basis to express that the ICC indeed has jurisdiction over Senator Bato. First is our Constitution, right? Contrary to the argument of Bato's camp that under Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution, a local court or a local judge must still, issue a warrant of arrest. That is, in my humble opinion, incorrect. Because under Article 2, Section 2 of the 1987 Constitution, we adopt the generally accepted principles of international law, and it forms part of the law of the land. Actually, even if we are not a member of the ICC, even if we are no longer a member of the ICC still has jurisdiction. Why? Because under Article 127, Paragraph 2 of the Rome Statute, withdrawal of a state from the Rome Statute will not exempt a state from its obligations, which were incurred during the time that it was still a member. And this was even reinforced by the doctrine or ruling rather in Pangilinan versus Cayetano. Moreover, Sir Romel, may sarili tayong batas. Republic Act 9851. Hindi ito nakasalalay sa Rome Statute. Kahit hindi tayo naging miyembro ng ICC, mayroon tayong sariling batas. And under Section 17 of Republic Act 9851, in the interest of justice, the relevant Philippine authorities, meaning the executive department, ay may kapangyarihan na isuko ang isang akusado sa international tribunal kung siya ay involved sa crimes against humanity. So all these laws, all these Supreme Court decisions only lead to one, conclusion. ICC has jurisdiction over Senator Bato. And if our countrymen will only read the concurring opinions of our brilliant Supreme Court Associate Justices, some of which are my good friends, they are so eloquent in stating that indeed Senator Bato is already a fugitive, and the fugitive disentitlement doctrine applies to him. So, ano pa? Kanino ba tayo maniniwala? Sa Supreme Court, sa mga abogado, or sa mga fake news peddlers or vloggers?
The other thing that I would like to ask is that although it has been, aired on the news, but I just would like you to be categorical about it. What is your response to the assertion of the lawyer of Bato that the warrant could be served on him?
Okay, I remember that he can receive the copy of the warrant and he will be the one to serve it to his client. Am I correct? Well, that is incorrect, right? That is incorrect. Only the arresting officers authorized by the court can serve the warrant of arrest to the accused. Because if we will, follow the absurd interpretation or absurd opinion, di syempre, lahat ng kliyente natin, sasabihin natin,
Sa abogado na lang.
magtago ka na, ako na lang ang magre-receive ng warrant
Tatanggap.
of arrest mo. No, that's not the spirit of the law. So, I will reiterate, a counsel, specifically a defense counsel for that matter, cannot receive the warrant of arrest and be the one to serve it to his client. It is so fundamental that, I find it quite absurd. So I hope it is clear to everyone, not just only to the legal profession, but all our countrymen, right? Especially those who do not have ample knowledge about the law.
In fact, if you would look at the wordings of a warrant of arrest, it is addressed to an officer of the peace.
Yes.
It's not addressed to a lawyer or anyone else.
Exactly. Good observation. Good observation.
Second, another question, attorney, is that do you think the current acting Senate President has a valid or legal basis for acting as the head of the Senate now?
Well, let's just clarify, right? Senator Gatchalian is the Senate President pro tempore, right? And this is a good opportunity. Thank you for that question, Sir Rommel, because this is a good opportunity to clarify to our countrymen why there was a valid quorum, right? Last June 3, 2026, despite the absence of some of the senators or the Cayetano bloc, right? Because we have jurisprudence. In fact, we have this case of Avellino versus Cuenco, right? That for purposes of quorum, to do business, right? The membership of the Senate must not be based or computed on its 24-member, right, composition. It must be, or the determination of which must be based on the total number of senators who are functioning and who are actually performing the functions of a senator. This was explicit in Avellino versus Cuenco. That's why, since Senator Estrada and Senator Bato are not functioning, right? Are not functioning as senators and they cannot be compelled to attend the sessions, then the 12 senators last June 3, 2026 had a valid quorum to do business. Kasi po nasa saligang batas under Article 6, Section 16, na sa pag-elect ng Senate President, yan, kailangan majority of all the members of Senate. So ang basihan mo dapat yung 24, that is clear. Kaya ang galing nila doon sa move nila, na they really restrain themselves from electing a new Senate President because they know that it will violate the Constitution because they need the majority of 24, which is 13. But sinasabi rin po ng ating saligang batas under Article 6, Section 16 na with respect to the other officers, the Senate shall elect its other officers as it may deem necessary and walang constitutional requirement na lahat ng miyembro ng lahat ng senador ay kailangan nandoon. So, guided by the Avellino versus Cuenco doctrine, kahit kayo ay 12 lamang na senador, pwede yang mag-constitute ng quorum to do business. Kaya yung pagde-declare ng Gatchalian Block na lahat ng Senate offices ay bakante, right? Yung mga committees, legal yun. And even if it is expressed under Senate rules, tandaan po natin under constitutional law, and this was even expressed by the court in Bagilat Jr. versus Alvarez, that procedural rules of the Senate are always subject to modification, non-compliance, or even waiver by the said members. So, there is nothing illegal nung binaliwala nila or nag-waive sila doon sa kanilang existing Senate rules. So, ayan, nasa Konstitusyon, nasa Supreme Court decision, at pati sa Senate rules nila ay they can legally do that.
Beyond the courtroom, attorney, and beyond politics, what sort of legacy would you like to have for Attorney Arlene Reyes to leave behind to your students, to your family, or to the Filipino people?
Well, I am glad that you mentioned that I'm also a law professor, right? I teach law. One of the biggest legacies that I will be truly proud of is, that I am a law professor who teaches my law students not just to be brilliant, not just to be intelligent lawyers in the future, but my legacy, or the legacy that I want to impart to them, is that I am one of their law professors who taught them how to be principled lawyers, how to be virtuous lawyers, because the legal profession has been subjected to, of course, harsh criticisms also, that they think that the legal profession is all about making money, all about deceiving, right? But I want to create or hone future lawyers who will prove those criticisms wrong. And if our country will have, a future batch or community of lawyers who are virtuous, who are brave enough to defend what is right and to defend the rule of law, then I will be very glad about that.
And I would like to thank you, attorney, for for being a good example, not just as a lawyer, but as a professor. I've been a teacher myself in the university, and for me, knowledge and skills come after values, and I think that's the call for values, for us to maintain a certain set of principles and values is really highlighted by what is going on around our country and our society right now, because we can probably have the most intelligent, the most able, the most skilled people, but yet, as we see in the Senate, if they do not possess the concern for others, the concern for what is right and what is good, we have a bigger problem ahead.
And worse, if they don't have both.
Thank you again, attorney.
You're always welcome, Sir Rommel.
Thank you po. Tonight, we were reminded that democracy is strengthened not by blind loyalty, but informed citizens, accountable leaders, and respect for the rule of law. In a time of division and competing narratives, the challenge before us is simple yet profound: to seek the truth, uphold our institutions, and put the nation above politics. Good evening, I am Romel Miranda, and this has been The Game Changer.